Hey everybody, good evening. Damon Gonzalez. Welcome back to the Slip Punches show, man. We're happy to be back. It's been about a week or two. Been very busy, Just finished off 4 weeks of Boxeo Telemundo series. Very happy and man, kind of feel depressed, man. I'm not back in the ring, but it was fun. It was fun, man. They put on some great fights. It was great fight card. Just very happy to be a part of it. And a big shout out, big thank you to Duto Zavala, Clovis, and Ruben De Jesus for the opportunity, for bringing me in the team and helping to support All Star Boxing with some tremendous fights on Telemundo. We'll be back next year. Definitely going to come back stronger than ever. So looking forward to it. So this evening, I just want to reach out to everybody, say hello. Got a special guest coming on any minute. Before that, big shout out to our sponsors. We want to give a big shout out to Empire Pro Tape. Empire Pro Tape, man, some really good stuff, man. They have been very, very supportive of the Slip Punches show. Very supportive with our boxers. Some of the best tape in boxing. Some really great stuff. I'll tell you, man. Every boxer that had the opportunity to use this tape that I've spoken to, that I've helped worked out, I'll tell you, man, they've been very happy and very pleased with the work. So we're extremely excited, extremely happy with their partnership and collaborating with us on the show. So weekend, as we know, Jaime Munguia fights tonight on the Zone. We're looking forward to that. Tomorrow night, Friday night, actually. And then we have Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis on the weekend. Uh, that's a good fight. It's a really good fight, and it depends what Leo Santa Cruz show up. I think that to me, Santa Cruz needs to fight him like he fought Abner Mares. He needs to go inside and just crack the living crack out of him. Just hit him, and that's something he needs to do. So, without further ado, let's bring on the champ to our show. Hi, champ.
Hello, hello.
Harris.
How are you?
Hi, how you doing? Good evening. Welcome to the Slip Punches show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is great to have you on, and we apologize. We know that your training camp is going on, and of course, the big news: you're fighting in Florida next week.
I am. Thank you. No problem. I'm glad we were able to make this work. It's a week out, so things are in the boxing world, it's regular, but a little frantic, but just getting the last things done. So, but I'm feeling great. I'm ready to do this.
I'll tell you, champ, you've done so much in the sport, man. I commend you, and I'm very proud of you for everything you've done as a boxer. You've reached pedestals in this sport that are totally incredible, and what I love the fact is that you have a great story, and you're not shy to talk about your story.
Well,
And
thank you.
tell us a little about yourself, and of course, the life in Rhode Island and how things were growing up for you as you got into boxing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, again, like I said, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And like you said, I love sharing my story. I am very open. You can ask me anything about anything. I'm a little Rhode Island girl, not Long Island, New York. It's Rhode Island. If you watch the cartoon show Family Guy, that's where I'm from.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
that's
yeah.
how everybody reference it. But growing up in Rhode Island, I grew up. I'm the baby of 5 kids. I've always been a sporty little rough kid. My mom wanted a cute little girl that was a girly girl that wanted to do what she did, which was do hair, nails, and be a ballerina. I want to ride motorcycles. I want to do all the rough stuff. But I didn't grow up in a terrible like hood, neighborhood, but I didn't grow up great either. It was a rough neighborhood and a single parent household where my father wasn't consistent in my life throughout my entire life, especially during the younger years. When I was really young, he was there, and then they got divorced around 4. So then from then on, it was just my mom, and my brothers, and my sisters. Growing up, first of all, in a single parent household, and also being of mixed race, which is Indigenous, Native American, and Cape Verdean. Those of you who don't know what Cape Verdean is, it's a little island off the west coast of Africa, but in America, I'm just a black native. I'm a half black breed girl. You know what I mean? So,
That's what I'm
um,
talking about.
yeah, you know what I mean. So it is what it is, and it was it's tough to find my footing. I'm a little tomboy. I want to do all the stuff that my big brothers did. And I was a city native, which is also a struggle in itself. I wasn't, surrounded solely by my native people or solely by this people. I'm just half. I didn't really know where to go. And then my sexuality, I dressed like a little boy. I wanted to do everything the boys do because I can do it too. But I'm a girl, it was just personal struggle. And then also being the last child, being the baby. And when they got divorced, and it was just, I thought things were my fault. I needed an outlet. Being the baby and having such a big age gap, my brothers and sisters were going off to college and high school. So it was just me and my mom. So then, two females bumping heads, two strong Native women in the same house, even if you're young, we bump heads. So I from the ages around 8 to 12, I went through a couple of things, just trauma as a kid. When I was 12 years old, I went through something really traumatic to myself, which I'm sure a lot of females can attest to that. I didn't really have an outlet, and I was trying to find my footing where I belonged. I didn't know I wasn't Native enough. I wasn't black enough. I look like I'm half Asian. There's just so much. So
Right.
I was always sporty, always like playing basketball, always the only girl playing football with the neighborhood kids, always slap boxing with everybody. But for whatever reason, being from Rhode Island and not having boxing in my family like that, we come from a very musically inclined family, singers, musicians. My father was actually on tour with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He did a lot of things musically.
Oh, wow.
So boxing wasn't like something that was a staple in my house. Fighting, yeah, maybe, but not boxing. So I thought, whenever I saw that HBO sign come on, I thought that, oh my God, it's Rocky. I love Rocky. I used to always love Rocky as a kid. And I thought, I'd have to go to Philly or New York. I didn't think boxing was in Rhode Island. I didn't really, as a kid, didn't hear the Vinny Paz's or anybody yet. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
always had aspirations of the art of boxing too. I'm an artist at heart. And the sweet science and the art of boxing or art of any kind of like combat sport, I've always been intrigued. So I started off with t-ball, softball, basketball was my first love, volleyball. But again, I wanted to box. I wanted to do something like that. It just wasn't enough for me. The team sport is great, but because I was always left alone with dealing with my own personal things and struggles, I didn't really have somebody to talk to and an outlet. I needed that. I needed that soul sport. Like I had to depend on myself. Boxing, it's one of those sports. If you're having a bad day, you can't tag somebody and you can't say, can you bench me for this world title fight? You got to fight. You know what I mean? So that responsibility, like, so intrigued me. I kind of, I bugged my mom about it, and she's like, I don't know anything about like where to even begin with that. So my father was in and out, back and forth, and when he happened to come up, I mentioned it, and he had a family friend that he's like, I think he trains his daughter. Will bring you by the gym. And before that, though, there was a man by the name of Domingo Tall Dog. He's a fighter in the early '90s. He's a welterweight out of Connecticut. He's a native fighter. And my mother had mentioned, he's a vendor at the powwow. So I dance, do my competition, and I go bug him at his stand, like, oh, can you teach me something? Like, I really want to box. But he's just like,
No
he didn't
way.
really take me serious. He didn't take me serious. It's funny because we talk about it now, and he's like, man, I didn't think you were gonna do anything with it. So he would show me some things, like this stand and stuff. I'm like, yeah, like kind of blow me off a little bit. He came to the house a few times, hung up a bag, showed me some things in the mirror, almost kind of like to shut me up, like, all right, stop bugging me, kid. You know what I mean? Then from there, I kind of, I started doing my little road work, thinking I was like, all hot and everything. And then when my father came up and mentioned it, we talked about it, and he brought me to Peter Manfredo's gym in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, around the age of 15. It was a hot, sweaty day. I walked in. Peter Manfredo Sr. is like, hey, you don't want to be here. It's hot. You're a girl. You don't want to box. And then it's kind of went all uphill from there. I took a few classes. I sparred. I fought. Got my ass whooped on my first fight. But I wanted to
Wow.
figure out how to not make that happen again. I didn't get discouraged. It was some like older lady that was a kickboxer. She busted my nose. I was pissed. I was a teenage kid going through some rough patches. I started
Sure.
drinking when I was 11 years old. I started smoking weed when I was 11 years old. So that was like a really serious turning point in my life. And I wanted to, it's clicked. I was like, how do I get that back? I got to get that. How do I make that not happen? And then it just kind of went from there.
I'll tell you, you've done again so much in your career. You've won WBC belts, you won plenty belts. Win, lose, or draw. We're not going to talk about the fight, but talk about the last ever broadcast, fighting on the last ever broadcast of HBO. I mean, how humbling was that to fight on the biggest boxing network that we're all missing so much?
Mm-hmm. I mean, just it's funny because we weren't even supposed to be televised. A fight, things happen the way they happen, and a fight fell out. I was just honored to be fighting in California on an HBO card, Triple G card. Like it's crazy. I get to fight Cecilia Brækhus. It's crazy, undisputed champ. And then we got a call. We was in Walmart like a week before, getting a little last minute travels. I was with my manager Brian Cohen, and we got a call. He's like, "For real? Okay, great." He's like, "Yo, you're gonna be on HBO." I was like, "What?" I'm screaming in the middle of Walmart. I thought it was like the best thing ever. And then it just really hit me. Like I really grew up the little bit of boxing I did grow up watching Tyson on HBO. HBO is like the pinnacle of like boxing. Like you've seen
Right.
at least one boxing fight on
Sure.
HBO. So it was such an honor to fight on there. But I was still there to do a job. But people always ask me, does it affect you, the crowd, or people? If they told me 1.4 million people were watching, maybe before the fight, maybe it would have did something. But it was such a huge step for women's boxing in a whole. They were able to witness women's boxing at its elite level for an undisputed fight with two elite fighters. Not some novelty to unskilled fighters, and if people really got to know the sport in one of the best places to have boxing, California, fans are great. You know what I mean? So it was amazing. I kind of had to take it in, but put it aside too when I walked out. I had that moment of wow, I'm really on HBO for like maybe 5 seconds, but I'm there to do a job too. You know what I mean? But it was awesome to be part of history. Absolutely, represent my people as well doing so.
Champ, I'll tell you, I mean, the doors opened again. You're looking at a week away
Mm-hmm.
from the WBA super lightweight female world title
Mm-hmm.
against a Canadian fighter, Candy Wyatt. What are your thoughts of Wyatt, and what are your thoughts going into this fight next week with her?
I mean, first of all, it's my first fight at 140 pounds. I've never fought at super lightweight ever. But that's not a problem. Me, my team and I, we come up with game plans. I'm in the point of my career where, I'm not a busy idiot. I don't just throw punches and hit the
Right.
bag. There's a game plan. I've been doing this so long on my own that
Yes.
I know my body and I know where I need to get. My previous last three world titles were no manager, no promoter. My whole career has been self-made. I've gotten calls. Hey Kay, you want to fight at 160? I'm in the gym. Like, can somebody go to Spain with me next week? That's been my career pretty much up until probably around 2016 is when I got with Brian Cohen, and from there, it's strategy. Boxing is just not just throwing punches. It's not just left hooks and right hands. So going into this fight, I don't ever train and take any opponent lightly. You know what I mean? I want to get the best out of me. Of course, we have game plans, and I trust my coaches, and my team so much. And I love boxing. I love watching. I love breaking it down, and we're all on the same level. And my goal for every fight, no matter who I fight, is just to get better. I know I don't have a ceiling. I don't come to camp like, yeah, I'm just gonna hit the bag. We're gonna do the Mayweather pad thing, and we're just gonna make the weight. It's what can we learn? What can we work on? I don't care if I'm fighting somebody who's 38 with 38 knockouts or 0 with 38 with no knockouts and they've gotten knocked out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I want my best self to show up for that fight, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Candy Wyatt, she's 10-1. I mean, she's a busy, busy fighter. She comes to fight. She's used to fighting at 140. I feel great already. I know myself, I know my body, and I trust my team. So we're coming prepared for the best version of her, and hopefully she's prepared for the best version of me, because that's what she's gonna get on the sixth. And she's not getting that title; it's mine. It's already mine. So I'll be happy to celebrate the victory. I appreciate her for taking the fight. We had some discrepancies going into this fight. We can talk about that if you want, but I respect everybody who goes into that ring. It's not an easy game, and she stepped up to the plate like that. So she help make this fight happen. So we're gonna go out there, and we're both hungry. We both want it, and I already know I'm gonna come out the victor. But I respect her so much for stepping up and taking the fight, and we're gonna have fun on the 6th.
That's awesome, Chan. I'm gonna look out for you because I'm gonna be on the apron and I'm gonna shoot the photos of your fight.
Yes,
Yes,
awesome.
so I got you with your photos and some Empire Pro tape. I'll take care of you.
Nice, cool beans.
Hey, champ, it's also the weekend, and I'm sure you heard it's the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame event.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
during your fight, it's the actual Florida Boxing Hall of Fame weekend, and it's at the
Oh,
same hotel. So participants that are gonna watch you fight, let me just name one or two. Jeff Left Hook Lacey is gonna be at your
what?
fight.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
he's getting
awesome.
inducted. Nate the Galaxy Warrior Campbell is gonna be at your fight.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I had no idea about this. Holy crap.
Yes,
That's
so they're
cool.
gonna be there and they're gonna be rooting for you, and it's gonna be extremely exciting because
Oh, that is so
the whole class of 2020 will be present at your fight to watch you fight.
that means I really, really, really gotta show up.
Oh
Not
yeah,
that
you do. Big shout out to
I-
T&K Promotions. T&K
Absolutely.
Promotions are putting on the card, and I'll tell you what, they're wonderful here in Florida. They're doing big things. They're a great young promotion. They just did a show last week in this theater in Lakeland, Florida, and I kid you not, the venue was kind of like the Radio City Music Hall in New York. It was
Oh
just
wow.
gorgeous. It was breathtaking, gorgeous. So
I like
big
when
shout
fights are
out to
really
them.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, that I was this is amazing that we even are able to do this right now in a normal setting somewhat as much as things are so abnormal right now in the world. So I'm sure it's going to be a breath of fresh air for people watching boxing like it used to be. And I just go out there and put out my best performance. That's awesome. That's, congratulations to everybody who got inducted this year. I'll be able to we can all take a picture with my new belt. Hopefully
That's
the
what's up.
Wu-Tang
That's what's up. And of course, safety protocol will be in effect for all of us. And it's gonna be, it's humbling. It's exciting that we can all celebrate the sport of boxing in some capacity. So it's pretty exciting that we're able to do that. Champ, give a shout out to all your friends, man. So many people adore you and love you, and we all do. Give a shout out to all your friends and all your supporters.
Oh, no, first and foremost, again, like T&K Promotions, as well as my promoter, Lou DeBella, one of the best in the game, the best as far as women's boxing goes, and the best promoter boxing, period. I mean, he loves the sport, and it shows in his success and in what he's done. Big shout out to Split Team Management and also my manager, Brian Cohen. They've done a great job with me, and I'm excited to see where we can go. Big shout out to my home gym back at home, Big Six Boxing Academy. I got a couple of stablemates fighting right now on UFC Fight Pass in Providence, Rhode Island. Big shout out to my strength and conditioning coach, Sharik Ali Mendez. He also trains Demetrius Bubu Andrade. Everybody from Providence, Rhode Island. My mom, thank you so much for always supporting me. My best friend Veronica, my other best friend, which is also my manager Brian. That's like my right hand man, my goon. My entire nation of people, indigenous people, native, indigenous, wherever you are. I say I fight for all nations, and I dearly do mean that. And I also fight for causes. It's not just throwing punches for me. I'm a modern day native warrior, and I physically fight in that ring. And every punch is a prayer. So I just try to pass that positive energy as well. To stand for something. You stand for nothing, you're just gonna fall for anything. So I also, for all those kids out there that are telling you can't do this, you're not going to be this, because that's what I got told all my life. Look where I'm at now, and this is just the beginning. Don't put a ceiling on yourself. Everybody who's ever supported me, a huge shout out to everybody who ever doubted me, who does doubt me. Sending out good positive vibes to everybody. And a big shout out to my father. My father just recently passed away, so I'm dedicating this fight to him. He was a huge boxing fan. He was, put aside anything that happened in life. He was still my father, and dedicating this fight for him. He was very proud
It's
of his
awesome.
daughter. You know what I mean? So this is for him, definitely.
Champ, we thank you so much, and we're not going to keep you too long on the show, but we really hope to have you come back.
Absolutely, anytime. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for thinking about me and having me on your show. I'm looking
Oh,
forward
no
to.
doubt. It's fight week. I'll see you Thursday and Friday.
Absolutely. See you soon. Thank you so much, Damon.
All right, Sam. Take care.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in the Slip Punches show with Kali Reis. We appreciate you tuning in. Great fighter. We're looking forward to her fight next Friday in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Marriott, presented by T&K Promotions. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to Boxing Playhouse. They're going to be in the building. Sidestep Boxing is going to be in the building. My boy, the Green Eye Bandit, Wilma Montero, is going to be in the building. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night of boxing. And Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports. We thank our sponsors, Empire Pro Tape D. Good looking out. We appreciate you. Keep on punching, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night.